Welcome back, my friends. My name is Eric. This is Milsim Gaming. We're going to take a look today at Colony Ship, a post-Earth role-playing game. This is kind of the sci-fi RPG I've been waiting for. I played this when it first came out into, I want to say it was a demo, but into early access, and it may just have been that the early access was so limited it felt more like a demo. I don't remember exactly what it was called at the time, but this is from Iron Tower Studio, and I guess we could go ahead and let this little bit play in the background. But essentially what this is, you're a character who is on one of these generational colony ships that's going to another solar system somewhere to colonize. And so you haven't been put in cryo, none of that. It's just going to be generations are going to live and die on this ship as it travels. At some point along the way, there was an uprising on the ship. And now we have kind of three factions kind of living more or less together on this ship in kind of a, in whatever state of anarchy you want to say, so that's the idea. This is very much kind of an old wasteland kind of style character generation with skills and, your attributes are what they are, but then your skills go up as you use them. I really like that system. It's something obviously we've seen in other more modern games. There's a lot of text in this one. This is the same company that did Age of Decadence. Yeah, Age of Decadence. I haven't played Dungeon Rats. I don't know what it's like. Age of Decadence is essentially, as far as I'm concerned, just more of a novel than a game, I guess. More of a choose-your-own adventure. However, I will say that this has something similar to that in that combat in both is very, very difficult, and you should think twice. If there's a way around combat, you might be better off doing that. Anyway, this is the Steam page for it. You can see right now reviews are very positive. The original release date was April 6, 2021. So it's been about a year and a half-ish, almost, since early access came out. If we go to my library here somewhere and we click on it here, we'll see that they have been actively working on it. They've recently added another location. So 8 of 12 of the locations are in the game. And if you kind of look down here, you'll, well, we don't need all of this crud, do we? Here, this is what we want here. There we go. We'll see that there is very consistent work being done on the game. So this is something that is actively being worked on. It's not something that's been out for a year and a half. They've just been sitting on. I played for about an hour and a half last night, and 89 minutes specifically. And it must have been a demo I played because I didn't have it installed. So I didn't pick up early access till last night on it. But anyway, I've really enjoyed it so far. So let's go ahead and dive into it. All right. Colony ship. We will create a new character here so you can see that. They apparently have recently, I don't know how recently, but this wasn't in the original demo anyway, added a new version. So the standard way is underdog here. The default setting, integrated into the setting, the world is harsh, dying is easy, and you aren't a hero who can easily kill anyone who stands in your way. You might have to walk away from fights you can't win, make decisions a true hero wouldn't, and master the combat system just to even the odds. The best way to experience the game. And then the hero, essentially combat's been made easier, so you can enjoy the game and not have to worry about the combat so much. We'll go underdog. We're going to create a new character. So I made a guy last night, so we'll make a female tonight just so I can see the graphics. We can randomly generate a name. We'll go with Tennessee. Kind of click through and see. Oh, I like that one. We're going blue hair. So I like that too. Actually, that's very post-apocalyptic. I'm going that one. All right, so let's go ahead. We can a few different skin versions out there. I guess that's close. Face. It doesn't really matter. You're not really close enough to them that it makes much difference. We'll just leave it where it is. Hair, can we get... she doesn't really have bangs like that. Let's see if we can... What I hate is when they give you pictures and then they don't give you the appropriate hair combo to go with it, right? They give you a... We've been through everything already. Whoops, that's face. Hair. Yeah, more or less. All right, well, we can make it blue maybe. Whoops. Can we do that at least? No, we can't. Well, that's annoying. You know what? I'm going to pick somebody else then. Suck it. We'll go here. Looks like we can do that one. Oops. I don't know what decor is. I'm not actually sure that that's doing anything. Yeah, I'm clicking face, but I'm not sure it's doing anything. May not be in there. And you know what? The game's early, right? We may get additional hair colors or something like that as the game goes on. So we can get tattoos. She doesn't have any there. I think we can do scars. Here's one across the nose there. I think we'll go without that. And for whatever reason, gloves? I think we'll leave that. Least important here. So we've got our stats here, our attributes. Strength, con, dex, perception, intelligence, charisma. We get 16 points to dump into those. We could get some more scat points by taking a feat over here, gifted. I would say maybe early on, the first time, maybe you read through these and you find one that looks good to you. You're only going to get to make this a character creation only. So if you look at this and you want cult leader and it requires a charisma 10, you're not going to be able to take this later. So your charisma will have to be 10 to give you access to that here, because you're not going to be able to grab it later in the game. So think about kind of what you want to do with your character, and if one of these fits that, you're going to have to get it now because you can't get it later. I'm kind of actually thinking, so what I did last time was I did somebody who did rifle, a little bit of sneak, and some streetwise. Now, no, I did a little bit of lockpick, streetwise, and sneak. Now, I think streetwise and lockpick were both good choices early on. I got a lot of use out of them. Another good one early in the game would be electronics, probably, and sneak would be a good one. Combat-wise, I don't know. I think I'm going to go melee this time. Last time I went, last time I went rifle. But I found something I kind of want to try out with a blade, and I didn't have the skill or the ability to do it, or at least I didn't have the weapon for it. But I think I would like to try that too. So let's take a look and see what our stats do, and then we'll worry about what our skills are. So, strength and constitution kind of break down into these two. And they're going to give us melee damage, armor handling, which is... Okay, so we're going to get some... I'm not exactly sure what armor handling does. However, my belief is as you get armor on, it will... let's put a couple points in here. It's going to help with the because armor can give you negatives for wearing it, but it can also give you bonuses. So whether that amplifies the bonuses and minimizes the negatives or what, I don't really know. But it's definitely something that's worth thinking about. Recoil control, if you're going to use, big guns that are going to have a lot of recoil, obviously that's going to be important. Hit points is important, and number of implants, so that'll come from your constitution. See hit points, and you can just mouse over and see what they affect, right? Dex and perception. So dexterity is going to help give you more action points. It is an action point combat system. Also sneaking and some other things are going to require action points when you do them. You can even pick locks and stuff while doing kind of sneak. I don't call it a mini game, but while sneaking and kind of under an action combat type of system, you can do some other stuff. So more action points is more better. So it'll help with, there you go, evasion, initiative, and reaction. Perception is going to double up on evasion, initiative, and reaction, but also get you some base accuracy. Your intelligence is going to get you more tagged skills. A tag skill essentially gives you an extra couple free points. I'm not sure what else it does, if some things are going to get you bonuses for having a tag skill. So if we go to blunt here, you can see our accuracy is now is up to 62 with this. 12 of that comes from this. So I don't know if it's just an extra free couple or if it's going to help us more going forward than that. Intelligence and charisma. This is going to give us more tag skills. So, I mean, essentially, that's an extra 2 skill points that you're going to get right away from a tag skill, right? So that's not a bad thing to have. And then charisma is going to help you with neural resistance, initial disposition, and max followers. So you can have a party as you go through. You could also just play this lone wolf if you wanted to. Especially if you're trying to avoid combat, that may not be the worst option. Honestly, I think maybe, first impression, this might be a game that, depending on the playstyle you want, lone wolf is legitimate. And we get a couple other abilities down here. You can see critical strike, fortitude, natural damage reduction, regeneration, noise sneaking, takedown. You can also get, is it under constitution? Yeah, implants. I don't know how good or bad kind of the cybernetic implants are at this point. I haven't experienced that in my initial 89 minutes. So my initial thought was I want somebody that can attack with a bladed weapon, can sneak. I did like sneaking. There's a takedown ability here too. Is that under, what is that on? Does that change from anything, or is that just a base skill? I want to try taking somebody down. That's what we're getting to. We might have to reset it, but that's my idea. So let's go ahead and maybe get ourselves, how far do we need to get a third? Let's go 8 for intelligence. I would like, put a couple things at 8 there. So that gets us some strength, some dex, some intelligence. What else would I like? So I know I want to do, I like the streetwise, and I like the lockpick. Sneaking is useful, but I was able to sneak everywhere I wanted to sneak this last time without needing to put a bunch of extra points in. Maybe we put a point in it, but we don't tag it. Something along those lines. I'm kind of thinking I want lockpick, I want streetwise, and I want bladed. Early on, like I say, electronics could be a really useful skill too. Put a point into that. I'm going to put a point into lockpick. I'm going to put a point into bladed. Base skill feats. I don't know what skills would add to that. Kind of making a thug. Maybe I put a point into steel, but now let's figure out what we want to do over here. You do get a lot of options early to steal, so I'm not sure if that's a good choice or if I was better off putting that into an actual gun. I think we'll kind of play that by ear as we go, but we do still have 4 more stat points left to put. Because I did put points into streetwise, maybe we put a couple points into this. That initial disposition is good. That gets us up to 2 max followers. The other thing we can put them into is constitution or perception. I put a lot of points into perception last time, and that's probably not a bad spot to put the rest of our points into here, especially if we're going to go in and attack things. Probably evasion and initiative are a good option. We've kind of doubled up on some of that with dexterity, but I like that. Obviously, we don't have the hit points, and we can't put lots of implants in because we didn't put Arcana, but maybe we'll be able to raise that as we level up. Not really sure. So we can get additional 4 AP to movement. That's not a terrible thing, right? Because that, again, that may be an extra combat attack or a little bit of extra movement. AP, that's a good thing. I think most of my characters had 14 last time is what I had. Adds 15 initiative, 4 action points in the first turn, so you essentially always get to go first. Or hopefully, mostly go first. For each skill level, critical chance, critical damage, and takedown goes up. Oh. So in that case, our bladed... Oh, no, required... Are we able to get more feat points? Huh. We might be able to get more feats later as you go up. I take it back. I said earlier, you know, I think this first one is character creation only, right? This group here, this heroic stuff. So this must be character creation only, whereas this is stuff you can take later on. That'd be my guess, because obviously this is every level you get is going to boost these things, right? I wonder if we not just go with this for now and then worry about those later. That might be a good starting way. Look at that. Lone Wolf, evasion 10, reaction 15, initiative 15, critical chance of working alone. Reduces the AP penalty in each piece of equipment by 1. Armor handling goes up by 5. Evasion goes up. More hit points. Enemy's critical damage is halved. 50% crit for next attack after you kill somebody. Okay, more action points if you kill somebody. That could be pretty good too. An additional tag skill plus 20 experience, and it works retroactively. These skills will gain XP as you go up. Skill gain and gate goes up by 25%. Melee stagger. Attack cost -1, +1 to Mimdan. Aimed attacks are permanently disabled. Oh, so you're going to do more damage and you're going to be able to get more attacks, but you can't aim. I don't hate that. That's pretty good. So there's a blunt and a bladed, 10 reactions, 6 for each skill level. A lot of different skills or feats here you can take. Takedown AP cost reduced to 3, noise cut by half. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this. Can I? Did I already select something? Oh, I had to hit the little plus. There we go. All right, so that's going to get us 2 more stat points and 3 more skill points. I think... I would like more hit points. I'm going to go hit points. And then we had 3 more skill points. Where do I want to put those? Oh. There's only so far you can go as far as you can only put 1 point into anything initially. Okay. Okay, I got it. So I'm gonna put a point into shotgun. No, I've got the melee. If I want to get hit with some, maybe I'll go SMG. No, I'm gonna leave it. I'll put a point into evasion. I'll put a point into persuasion. And we'll put 1 more into sneak. I like that. Let's go ahead and start the game. Now we're going to have some more options here that we can do. The Year of Our Lord 2754. You'll never feel the sun's warmth under a blue sky, never hear the wind in the branches of a tree, and never swim in the ocean, because you've had the misfortune to be born on the ship. You've never seen Earth, and you'll never see Proxima Centauri either. Your past and future, both sacrificed by some dim and nameless ancestor to the greater good of the mission. Starfarer, they called her, a pretty name for a retrofitted interplanetary freighter. She had already been 20 years in service when she was rechristened, enjoying every minute of it. No one is certain the ship will actually reach its destination. Nobody much cares, since no one alive now will live to see it. Fatalism is the prevailing philosophy of the shipborne. Make the best life you can, and consign all your what-ifs and might-have-beens to the void. So we can just skip this, or we can Ultima 4 style dive in and make some ethical choices about our characters we go in. Now, obviously, in Ultima 4, that determines your class, and it doesn't here. But it's still a nice touch. So we'll go ahead and answer some questions. Ship was launched by a neo-Christian conglomerate dedicated to establishing a religious colony on a distant world. The original 50,000 passengers, the so-called first generation, were true believers of the mission. They sacrificed whatever lives they had on Earth and demanded strict obedience to the laws of God and the ship from their children. Unfortunately, the generations that followed lacked their forebears' fervent will to sacrifice. Dissatisfaction led to open revolt against the authorities, called the mutiny, and mutiny metastasized into a civil war. While the mutineers dealt a decisive blow to the old order, they did not eradicate it completely. When the fires died and the smoke finally dissipated, 3 factions emerged from the wreckage of the old order: the Protectors of the Mission, the Brotherhood of Liberty, and the Church of the Elect, each of them promising their own version of the future. You always thought that rebelling against the ship authority was a mistake, the environment itself is hostile enough to human life, and order is always preferable to chaos. Mutineers did the right thing. Why did the shipborne blindly bow to the edicts of the century's dead ancestors? Though they would deny it, the mutineers were fulfilling God's will when they toppled the old order. All shipborne bend to God's will, just as all events proceed according to his plan. And who cares? You got enough problems now. Now I'm gonna go kind of let's go freedom loving this one. Don't tread on me, so we'll go with the mutineers. In fact, you would go on to say, life is changed and as stagnant as to die. The systems by which the shipborne govern must evolve. Tyrants have always justified their decisions with noble motives, but all they care about is power. That power rightfully belongs to the people. Death to the tyrants. Violence is never the best solution, but sometimes the only solution. Let's go life has changed. Yeah, I like that. The ship suffered extensive damage during the Civil War, but remains operational. The hull was breached in several places, and frantic efforts to avoid a meltdown crippled the main reactor. Radiation increased in places to lethal levels, and several areas remain dangerous to this day. When a small percentage of the children of the habitat were first born to form, they were branded mutants and immediately shunned. The young were abandoned, and those whose defects didn't manifest until later were driven out. With the condition of the fusion reactor degrading to dangerous levels and the number of volunteers for jobs in areas exposed to radiation remaining few, the mutants negotiated a pact with the Covenant, granting them protection from harassment and violence in exchange for the maintenance of the engines and other vital systems. You've always thought that 1. Mutants are abomination in the sight of God. We should have eliminated a twisted kind when we had the chance. 2. They proved themselves useful by taking care of the reactor. Who's better to be exposed to radiation than those already affected to it? We're all God's children, even those with webbed fingers or deformed faces. Are you so beautiful you can shun them? In saving the ship, they saved the world as we know it. That debt can never be repaid. If anything, we need to embrace the possibility of mutations as critical to our survival of a strange new world. And ostracizing fellow humans based on genetic differences is wrong. Hopefully our descendants will live in harmony. I'm going to go with this one, right? That life has changed. You have to change and adapt. I think that's kind of thinking as mutation is part of that adaptation that's acceptable as you go forward. I think makes sense. So we'll go with that one. The place you call home is known as the pit, and some more affectionately as the free city. Calling the towers of containers rising from the depths of a cargo hold a city is a bit of a stretch, and so is the other half of it. With no kind of law or government, freedom mostly means you're free to kill or be killed. On the plus side, housing is cheap and keeping overhead low is a priority when you have nothing. The real city, a metropolis sprawling across many decks, is called the Habitat. It offers much better living conditions for those who can afford it, but to live there you have to pick a side among the factions vying for control. Nobody in the pit gives a damn about their struggles, but life before it, nothing in this world is free. Just keep in mind you might get more than you signed up for. As far as you're concerned, 1. True freedom means being free from the laws passed down by your supposed betters. 2. Some kind of rules are necessary, else will descend into anarchy. If freedom means living in an interplanetary shipping container and sleeping with a gun under your pillow, these pit dwellers can keep it. Personal freedom is a luxury the shipborne cannot afford. To serve the state is to serve your brother, to serve your sister, and to serve yourself. Why can't people understand that? You know what? We're gonna go true freedom. That's this character. The ship is en route to Proxima B, an Earth-like planet orbiting Proxima Centauri. After launch, a deep space probe transmitted highly detailed images of the surface, which revealed one minor setback. This very habitable world is already inhabited. Since the voyage is estimated to take close to 400 years, it's possible that by the time the ship arrives, the colonists will encounter a mature civilization, corresponding to Earth's late Middle Ages. If that's the case, what's the setback? Though unanticipated, slaves provide excellent resource. Make every effort within reason to accommodate the savages, setting aside clearly demarcated zones for them to pursue their efforts. Must make every effort to live in harmony with the world's native sons and daughters and learn all we can from them. Will be guests on this new world, living with a local population, accepting their culture and traditions are own. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's probably not going to happen. I think we do this one. We'll say, you know what, we're for everybody to have some freedom. We'll set some area aside for them so they can have their freedom while they catch up to us and become guests on our world, right? I think that's more it than anything. I don't think our character would go that route. This seems awfully I don't know, a little too kind of hippie-ish for a character living in the situation that it's living in. So we'll go with this one. As inevitably happens in dark and challenging times, some people turn to God for reassurance, the promise of an end to pain and hunger, or failing an end, at least a purpose. The Church of the East rejected both the protectors of the mission and the Brotherhood of Liberty as worldly fools distracted by politics and their own egos. Teaching their adherents that they were chosen by God, the Church frames the journey of the ship a centuries lost test of faith. We'll face a series of difficult trials, yes, but of a very definite end. When the ship arrives at her destination, Judgment Day awaits every citizen. The righteous will be welcomed to the promised land of Proxima B, while the unrepentant will be returned to the hell from which we fled, Earth, to suffer for all eternity. The way you see it, religion is the opium of people. It doesn't matter if God exists. People need to believe in something bigger than themselves. Faith has always been mankind's biggest strength and defining trait. Must preserve it. Honor he who is reborn. You too shall be reborn into the new world that awaits at the end of our long journey. Come the dawn. We're going to say opium of the people, I think, for this one. The Protector's one truth is the mission, and the sole way to ensure successful competition of the mission is to follow the old ways. The ways of the fathers, forefathers, and founding fathers are together the beam upon which the ship travels to the ultimate destination. The mutiny, which through every steadfast and timely intervention was thankfully aborted, was the ultimate betrayal of the old ways, of everyone who had come before, the nullification of every sacrifice, and every life dedicated to the mission. Sworn to regain control of the ship, the Protectors will subjugate anyone who threatens the mission. Over the last century, they have managed to expand their enclave somewhat, but the Brotherhood is deeply entrenched. To overcome them with violence would result in massive loss of life, an unfortunate consequence which itself endanger the mission. Instead of embracing the future, Protectors are clinging to long gone past. They're a problem, not the solution. They should be more flexible if they want to attract more to their cause. They're right about one thing: the mission is more important than our petty struggles. If it fails, then all the sacrifice was for nothing. Born and raised on Earth, founding fathers were wiser than the shipborn, so how can we question the path they've laid out for us? I'm going to say they should be more flexible. Well, now we'll go for here. No, I mean, I understand that keeping the ship going is important when you live on the ship. So I'm going to go this route. I'm going to say they're more flexible. They need to be able to embrace change and understand that things go if they're going to adjust to the times and attract more people. I think that makes sense. All right, Brotherhood was formed to liberate the people from the shackles of ship authority. Their first sally, which was the fossils of the old world called mutiny, did not completely achieve this aim. Although the Brotherhood was successful in establishing themselves as a significant power in the new order. Unfortunately, Brotherhood's subsequent attempts to complete the emancipation of the enslaved, wherever they may be, ran into an unexpected obstacle. Not only did the people refuse to cooperate in the noble mission, they often violently resisted, and sometimes even chose the protectors of the church over their best interests. The war goes on, but will be fought on different battlefields and with different tactics. A non-military campaign to win over the people through reason and deceit. Weakening the enemy from within is the central pillar of this new strategy. All right, we must evolve, and the Brotherhood is merely an agent of change. He fights monsters, should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. The Brotherhood did not end the tyranny of ship authority, giving us a chance to live our lives. They shouldn't try to take this choice away now. Oh, the Brotherhood did end the tyranny. Okay. And the best slave is the one who thinks he's free. They will thank the Brotherhood later for liberating him. I'm going to say merely an agent of change that drives this evolution. That fits our kind of adapt and overcome mutation, evolution kind of worldview that we've built here. Your beliefs and opinion may change and evolve over the course of the game as you interact with factions, groups, and various individuals. Keep in mind that actions speak much louder than words, and saying one thing and doing another won't fool people for long. Begin your adventures. All right. So that was character creation. I'm going to put a break in the video right here. However, the next video will come up instantly if you're ready to watch the next one, and we'll start gameplay.